Alright guys, so we're going to take a look at the feature discovery widget, I guess we could call it, in Materialize, which is really cool. So basically, if we were to click this button here, we get this really cool, I don't know what to call this really, it's just like a pop-up with some text with a heading and paragraph and the pulsating effect. So we can open and close it. But I have an issue with this documentation because this actually doesn't give us everything we need to actually create this. If you were to take this and put it in your HTML and add this jQuery, it doesn't work. So I'm going to show you how to actually do it. So in the 4_3 feature discovery HTML file, it should look like this. Basically, we're going to have our open and close buttons, and then we're going to have the markup for the feature discovery. So these two buttons, they're actually links, but they're going to be formatted as buttons. Let's give them the class of waves effect. Whoops, we don't want caps locks, whatever, caps lock. So waves effect, and then also we want waves dash light and BTN. All right, we want these same classes for this one here. Forgot the class. All right, so we're also going to add an on-click event here. Okay, we're just going to do it this way where we say on-click, and we want to take the tap target class and we want to call dot tap target, okay, like that, and then we want to call open. Alright, and then we're going to actually just copy that on click and put that on this one as well, on this A tag, except we're going to change this to close. Alright, and that'll actually activate the feature discovery. Let's save that. It's not going to do anything yet because we haven't added the markup for the feature discovery for the buttons and so on, or the whatever that is, the floating action button. So let's go to this div here and let's give it a class of fixed action button. Nothing we haven't seen before. And for the A tag, we're going to give this an ID of menu, and then we're going to give this a class of BTN floating, which will make it the circular button. We want it to be large, and we want it to be the color cyan. Okay, and then for the icon, let's say material dash icons, and we're going to give it the menu class, the menu icon. Okay, so if I save that, we have our little button here. Let's see, it should be down here, and the reason it's not is because I put the word button here. This should be BTN. Okay, so now that moves it down. Now, this div here, we're going to give this a class, and this is something that's not in that documentation page. We're going to give this a class of tap target wrapper, and then this div, we're going to give a class of tap dash target. We're also going to give it a color class of cyan, and then we need to give it an attribute of data activates. Okay, so we're going to say data activates menu, which should match the ID here. And then this div underneath, we're going to give this a class of tap target content, and let's also give it a class of white text to make sure the text is white. I'm also going to give this paragraph a class of white text. I'm not positive that that's needed, but I'm just going to put it anyways. Okay, and then we need another button, another floating button down here. So this div, the one that wraps the A tag, we're going to give a class of tap dash target dash wave, and then for the A tag, we'll give that a class of BTN floating, and also let's make it large, large, and let's make it cyan. And we also want to give it a class of tap target origin. Okay, and I'll show you why we have two of these floating buttons here in a minute, but let's also give this iTag a class of material icons and the menu icon, and that should do it. So let's save that, and now if I click this button, okay, so open. Now open is actually going to toggle it. The close will only close. Okay, if I click this, it doesn't do anything unless it's already open, then it will close it. Okay, so the open will actually toggle, close will just close it. Now you notice that we have two of these floating buttons. One is in this state, the other is in this state. So if I were to change this icon to, let's say, the close icon and save, you'll see that we have the menu icon, but once I open the feature discovery, it changes to close. And I can actually click that and close it. So if you wanted to keep it like that, you could. If you wanted to change the color, like let's say red, so when we open it, now it turns red. Okay, so you can change the open state of the button if you want, or you can just keep it the same. Okay, it's completely up to you. But this is the correct markup that actually works, and they don't have this in the documentation. Alright, so in the next video we're going to take a look at the toast component, which is kind of like an alert box that pops up. It fades in nicely. We're also going to look at tooltips, and these are both different forms of dialogues. Alright, so that's what we'll get into next, guys.